Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast, Brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution, excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, when things aren't created, but see true.
Good early afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the day shift. Come on in the room. 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 Welcome, neighbors. Welcome to the day shift. I'm Paulette. And we got a ton of stuff to cover today. A lot of things to cover. If you are, I've been missing you too. It's a couple of y'all. This Carol Sue. Let me see who else. A couple of other people that I have not seen regularly, but I know that you all are. Life is life, and things are happening, and so of course, sometimes you miss popping in every once in a while. Hey, JL Snow. Good morning. Welcome. So listen, y'all, we got a lot of stuff to cover today. We're going to be covering 4 different topics. We're doing things a little bit differently. Let me explain why before we get started. I needed to focus on the clock wheel. If you're from radio, you understand exactly what that is. Clock wheel is really simple. You got to remain structured. You got to stay on task. Sometimes we come in here, we squirrel, but we are going to be talking about things that matter to you. Always. Number 1, grab your coffee, grab your water. Get your vitamins if you have them. It is now officially, for some of you guys, it is time for you to clock out and go get your lunch or your breakfast or whatever, right? So let's go ahead and do this. Welcome to the day shift. You are officially in the neighborhood. Let's go. We're talking about 4 main topics today that are of concern. Number 1, the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics has announced that in the month of April, 106,000 Black women lost their jobs. That is the highest number of folks to have ever lost their jobs in 1 month. We can attribute that to DEI, of course. So we're going to be talking about that today, okay? Number 2, we're going to be talking about the Middle East trip that was done, and they should still be there now, with Donald Trump and some other people with some deep pockets, and they are lunching and supping with Saudi Arabia. We're going to be talking about, South Africans arrived yesterday, and they were greeted warmly by some folks in the administration and welcoming them into the country. We want to definitely cover that as well. And then also we're going to be talking about, lastly, June 14th and what that means to you. And in between, you already know what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about some of the other things that matter as well, like what's happening with Project 2025. Where are we? If you missed yesterday's show, I definitely want to let you guys know that another notch in Project 2025's belt has been met, and that was done on May 8th. Okay, so for those of you all who are not in the know, let's go ahead and start with that first so that you are aware. And we're also going to be reading up on it. One of the things you all remember, are we going to talk about the Trump plane? We did yesterday briefly. We can cover it again today, just a little bit, and about how this is an issue for several different reasons. Okay, so let me go ahead and put that on the agenda for today. Absolutely. So Fleetwood said we definitely need to cover that. Yeah, so it's a luxury jet. It's a luxury jet, y'all. Let's go ahead and talk about it right now. Shall we? Let's go. So he's defending this, guys. That's number one. All right. So let's go over this briefly. President Donald Trump is ready to accept a luxury Boeing 747. Hey, Angel. J.L. Snow said, we shall. Yes. So President Donald Trump is ready to accept a luxury Boeing 747-8 jumbo jet as a gift from the ruling family of Qatar during his trip to the Middle East this coming week. Okay. So just in time, Angel, honey. Yes. Let's get started. And U.S. officials say it could be converted into a potential presidential aircraft. I need a sip of coffee on that. I missed that yesterday. Did anybody else miss that? So the Qatari government said a final decision hasn't been made. Still, he has defended the idea. Yes, sip, sip. What would amount to a president accepting an astonishingly valuable gift from a foreign government as a fiscally smart move for the country. So the fact that the Defense Department is getting a gift free of charge of a 747 aircraft to replace the 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily in a very public and transparent transaction. So bothers the crooked Democrats that they insist we pay top dollar for the plane. Trump posted on his social media site on Sunday night. Anybody can do that. Well, then buy it, sir. How about that? All right. So ABC News reported that Trump will use the aircraft as his presidential plane until shortly before he leaves office in January of 2029, when ownership will be transferred to the foundation overseeing his yet to be built presidential library. Whew. Anybody want to add to that? Anybody? You see me smiling? Because sometimes you got to smile to keep from crying. Hey, Georgie boy, how are you? Before Trump's post trumpeting the idea, Ali Al-Ansari, Qatar's media attaché, said in a statement that the possible transfer of an aircraft for temporary use as Air Force One is currently under consideration between Qatar's Ministry of Defense and the U.S. Department of Defense. But the matter remains under review by the respective legal departments and no decision has been made. That's what I was waiting for. Pause, folks. Hold on. I actually did a news brief on it on my TikTok page, but I need you all to hear this part if you didn't know. And this is important. Pam Bondi, who is the United States Attorney General currently, has links with Qatar. I don't know if you all knew that. Pause. You ready? There's more. All right. Now, Attorney General Pam Bondi's links to Qatar are under scrutiny again, following reports that President Donald Trump will be gifted a luxury plane from the Qatari government. Bondi works as a foreign lobbyist for the nation of Qatar, or she did. And guess how much she was making a month, y'all? $115,000 a month. In the role which she held in 2020 and in the run-up to the World Cup in 2022. In this role, she lobbied Congress on behalf of Qatari interests. She also worked in a separate lobbying position for the Washington, D.C.-based firm Ballard Partners, where she also lobbied on behalf of Qatari interests and several conglomerates including Amazon. Her links to Qatar were previously raised by Democratic members of the Senate Committee on the Judiciary in January, who accused Bondi of failing to disclose her ties to the nation. They are being brought to public attention again following reports that the Qatari government is working on providing the current president with a plane, referring to it as a floating palace for temporary use as Air Force One. How do y'all feel about that? I got questions. Is this illegal? Because let's dig deeper, right? You know how we like to do that. Okay, corruption to the fullest. Let's find out. Because y'all know me. It's absolutely wild. Because what is this? So here's the thing. So foreign official gifts, even though heads of state have traditionally exchanged gifts as expressions of goodwill. Now, this is according to the Ronald Reagan Library. Domestic gifts to the president or first lady, even though the heads of state have traditionally exchanged gifts as expressions of goodwill, the Constitution, Article 1, Section 9, prohibits anyone in the U.S. government from receiving a personal gift from a foreign head of state without the consent of Congress. Not to mention it could be good, but that part, Suma, that's what I was thinking, right? So today, the handling of gifts from a foreign official to any federal government employee, including, let me say that again, any federal government employee, not the king, not the emperor, not the pope. Federal government employee, including the president, is largely governed by the Foreign Gifts and Decorations Act of 1966 and further legislation passed in 1977. Congress has allowed federal employees to retain any gift from a foreign government as long as the total U.S. retail value of the gifts presented at one occasion does not exceed an amount established by the General Services Administration. Foreign official gifts over this minimal value are considered gifts to the people of the United States, which the recipient must purchase from GSA at fair market value in order to retain. The White House gift unit sees to the disposition of foreign official gifts that the president and first lady do not retain. So he got two options, y'all. He can purchase it outright, which according to the article that I just read, he said he could do, and it would be easy to do that, or it would be turned over to the government. It would be turned over to the government, right? So there's that. How? Because Congress isn't stopping them. That's how. Congress doesn't care. And here's what's really interesting. I saw a video of Bernie Sanders. Hang on, let me see if I can find it, because it speaks so much to what both sides of the same coin are doing. Both sides are corrupt. That's how this is happening. Both Democrat and Republican, that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with two sides of the same coin whose palms are getting greased so that people in their establishments, either it be through super PACs or either through multi-billion-dollar corporations who have literally said, we're not going to fuel your campaigns or whatever, unless, of course, you do what we want you to do. And screw the American people, because that's literally what's happening right now. Hey, Patty, how are you? Right? So Bernie Sanders said it better than I absolutely could. And let me see if I can find it, because it was so good what he said. And that's how they're getting away with it, because I'm going to say it how I always say it. Who gonna stop me, boo? Who gonna stop them? Nobody. Hey, Craig, how are you? Hey, April. No one is stopping them. No one is holding them to the carpet, because it's the GOP that's in Congress and also in the Senate. And they're doing everything that they can to hold on to what they have. And that's even scarier, because at the end of the day, how did they get there? They were voted in by the people. And they continue to hold these positions. Period. That's how. End of story. Both sides are corrupt, and that's it. They could care less about the American people. Period. And I'll say it once, I'll say it again, and I'll probably get a t-shirt that says, no one won. No one won, folks. Look at what we're dealing with. Nobody won. If I see that one more time, I was going through social media today, like Threads and all of that stuff, right? And I was looking and I said, look at all of these people saying, yeah, but he won. He's your daddy. Honey, my daddy is from Louisiana. And I'm his walking twin in female form. Listen. But what I'm saying ultimately here is that it's all folks that are running. Here it is right here. They're all corrupt, and it's crazy. It's crazy. So he was on Fox News. Hang on. Let me see if here we go.
41%.
Here we go.
Opinion of the Democratic.
Y'all ready for this? Let's listen. Okay, hang on just a second. I want to make sure that I'm staying relevant over here as well. Okay, here we go. Listening. Here we go.
Better, but not a whole lot. I agree.
I'll tell you what. People understand that the political system in this country is largely corrupt. Both parties. Why is that? You know the answer. The answer is that you have billionaires in both political parties determine what legislation gets to the floor and who is the candidate. Right now, let me give you both examples. You're in the Republican Party. And you say, you know what? I don't like this Trump idea of giving massive tax breaks to the rich and cutting Medicaid and education. You get up and say that. What happens to you? The next day, Elon Musk says, I got unlimited amounts of money. We're going to run a candidate in a primary against you. Democratic Party side? What happens if somebody says, you know what? Maybe it's not a good idea to fund Netanyahu's war machine, which is creating starvation for children in Gaza. I'm going to vote against that. Next day, AIPAC is going to be running against you. We have a corrupt campaign finance system. Billionaires in both political parties are calling the tunes. The American people understand that.
There you go. In a nutshell. He said it himself. It's corrupt on both sides because hands are getting greased. And people are afraid that they're going to lose their particular portion of the election. And here's where people like myself and others who are providing news and information, he's absolutely right, Suma. The reason why it's so important to pay attention, and I'm definitely going to say this, to pay attention to independent news is because we're doing the deep digging. And what's happening is with, CNBC, not CNBC, but NBC, we have, ABC, Fox News, and so forth, all of those. They're only giving you the surface and they're not giving you all of the information. And this is where the media becomes so important. And I have told you all this time and time and time again. Johnny Q. Public is stupid. That's what my first year's graduate college professor told me in my marketing class. He said Johnny Q. Public, us, you and me, is stupid. If you tell somebody something long enough, they'll believe it. Right? You believe it, and they're going to continue to tell you that Black and brown people are dangerous. Black and brown people are doing violent things, and they're hurting people in this country, and they have to go. This has been going on since before this man's first stint in office. It started years ago, before Jim Crow. Let's talk about that. the media was able to manipulate anyone because they controlled how things went out. It started out with just regular print newspaper. By the time things were reaching specific communities, it had already occurred and they had buried folks and everything else, and other news had come out. But because news and information is moving so fast now, it's harder to pull the wool over people's eyes, unless, of course, you all are doing this all day. Unless, of course, you're paying more attention to the Real Housewives of. Unless, of course, you're paying to independent movies and information like that, and you're watching all the things. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. But that's where a lot of us get desensitized, because we're not paying attention to what's happening, and they are banking on that. They're also banking on the fact that there are those of us who will not do their due diligence, and so they can feed us anything they want. Anything they want. That's why it was so important to go for corporate news entities. Sue them. Win. ABC. NBC. Absolutely. But that can be taken away. Fleetwood. So Fleetwood says, according to, and because he has total immunity, he will get away with everything. Yep. But that can be taken away. The question is, when? Okay? But again, I think it comes down to having people who are slick with words, like a Pam Bondi and his other legal team members, who are able to go through those loopholes and say, yeah, you can do this. Yeah, you can do that. Yep, you can sure do that. Let's just slip this in here. That's how he's been able to get away with the things that he's done in business as well. I know people personally who had family members that did and built for him in Las Vegas who never got paid, and their family lost everything. And they were told by the attorneys, we will keep you locked up in litigation for years. You'll never see anything. Take this and buy. And they ate it. And it was nothing that they could do. So this guy knows. Here's the one thing that I can give him credit for is he knows he doesn't know, but he puts people around him that do. And that's how he's able to move the way that he moves. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Entire families lost everything. Been in business 30-something years. Dad so distraught, he took his own life. Yeah. But people don't talk about that because there are gag clauses and things like that, right? Hey, Anise, how are you? So the reason why I bring this information up to you guys is because if there are not people that are out there that are doing the due diligence of providing you with this information, people would just be like, oh, that's so nice. He got a jet. Is he supposed to have the jet is the question. And according to this, no. According to this, no. But they're going to find a way for him to get it. Now, you heard what the article said, that he is going to, once he leaves in 2029, then he will take it and it will be a part of the Trump library. He has nobody around him knowledgeable. Oh, honey, they're working on it. Hey, Cheryl, how are you? Good to see you. They're working on it. Oh, he trust. He's going to get on it. But the question is what is Qatar expecting in return for something like that? If he leaves, oh, he leaving. Did you hear how I said that? Mm-hmm. Let me sip my coffee. I'm good. I am so good. Y'all, I got some rest last night. Like, I went to bed at a decent hour. I didn't do the evening news. None of that. It was still kind of gloomy and rainy here. And so I said, I'm just going to go to bed early so I can get up. And yeah. Yep. I don't know about that. He will work for all. Here's my thought. My thought is, and again, I will say this. and you could take it to the bank or not. But number one, you know what I say often, just like everybody's, like my big mama and them used to say all the time, honey, you cannot plant an apple seed and think you're going to get a watermelon. You can't. You reap what you sow. Period. Period. And that goes for anyone. No one is immune. My Mother's Day was good. Thank you, Fleetwood. I slept all day. All day. Now, my children did give me gifts. I got flowers, and my son bought me candy, and then my other daughter, she got me cupcakes, and I thought, well, dang, now y'all got me out here big backing. What's up? But yeah, so they ended up eating it, which I think was it's very, very simple, Rebby D. It really is. And see, that's the thing that we have to, you slept all day, Lady K. Yeah, I did. I was like, oh, I'm not doing anything. And I had injured my arm, and they were like, oh my God, is she having a heart attack? Whatever. So I took a hot bath, and my daughter came in, and she seasoned it with all of the things, salt and camphor and all the things. And she was like, you just need to just soak. And I felt like I was the chicken in a bowl of soup. Yeah. Of course, Patricia. Yes, please. Welcome to the neighborhood. So glad to have you. So listen, that is the one thing that they're banking on, is that people are not doing their diligence. Okay? Like us sitting here having this conversation about this jet. And we got to be careful, because at the same token, honey, we don't know. Here's the thing. The laws of the universe are succinct. We know this. We all grown. We have done some things, whether they be good or bad, and we've seen the repercussions, whether they be good or bad, of our actions. That goes for all of these people that are running around here doing dastardly things to people, picking them up. And now I understand that they're going to allow regular American citizens to start detaining people. Do you know how horrifying this is getting ready to be? I don't know about anybody else, but the very thought is mind-boggling to me that this is even happening. Yeah, karma always gets you. It always does. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. It's a coming. You know what I mean? So even when we are watching all of this, everyone that is in that cabinet, all the way down to the folks that are announcing the news and being evil and mean and spiteful and feeling like they're winning. Honey, when I tell you, I feel like I'm in church right now, but it's the truth. You must pay the piper for what you do. And if nothing else gives you solace, please know that is a universal law. Brother Mo, you said you strongly suggest everyone to defend their personal space. Understood. Hey, Toon Cats. So you see what I mean? This is not a bad thing or a good thing. This is just universal law, folks. That's it. So there you go. But we definitely needed to cover that again. We get out here, but please understand, once again, just for if you want to go up and look it up, folks, for those of you all who are sliding through, you just want to be quiet in the background. Again, you cannot receive a gift. It prohibits anyone. The Constitution, Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution, prohibits anyone in the U.S. government from receiving a personal gift from a foreign head of state. Yep, karma's going to do his job. Mm-hmm. Including the president, who is an employee of the people. He forgot. He forgot. We haven't. I hope that none of you have. Okay? So please definitely keep that in mind, that number one, this is a no. And there are rules to how you are able to do that. So again, it says here, it cannot exceed a specific dollar amount established by the GSA or the General Services Administration. And Foreign official gifts over this minimal value, and I'm going to have to research that, are considered gifts to the people of the United States, not to him. No, Patricia, it doesn't need to be quick karma. Let it drag on out. Let it go ahead. We continue to do right because it is right. Hey, Christina, how are you? Yeah, let it go ahead. White House gift unit sees to the disposition of foreign official gifts that the president and first lady do not retain. So if they choose not to, number one, he can buy it. It did say that here. And number two, if they choose not to keep it, then the White House gift unit sees to the disposition of foreign official gifts that the president and first lady do not retain. Okay, so if you're concerned about that, definitely the Constitution, go take a look at it. Of course, JL Snow, you have a joyful day as well. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, folks. Y'all know me. I could keep right on going, but we got to talk about this one. Let's talk briefly about Black women facing a quiet unemployment crisis. I'm one of them. I'm one of them. And I know I'm not the only one. So I'm not here to whine. I'm here to give information. While most of the country is celebrating a stable job market, Black women are quietly facing a full-blown employment crisis. And no one is talking about it, except people like me. All right, now, according to new data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, this came out yesterday, the unemployment rate for Black women surged to 6.1% in April. Up from 5.1% just 1 month earlier. Now, that's a full percentage point jump, one of the sharpest increases of any demographic group. And it comes while the nation unemployment rate remained unchanged. 106,000 Black women lost their jobs last month. This isn't just the statistics. This is Black women getting pushed out. And that's just fact. Okay? Pushed out, overlooked, left behind. That's just the way that it is. I'm going to just call it like I see it because I was impacted. But I was impacted, listen closely, folks, during the Biden administration when they started saying, you really don't have to have DEI, XYZ, da-da-da-da-da. Yep. And we started to see changes. It started when Ron DeSantis was kind of like, we're tired of all the woke stuff and da-da-da. We want to do something about it. And we don't have to do XYZ. And then that's when people started using woke in terms that it was never meant for, number one. But then also it really began to show how people were like, you know what? I'm really sick of this. I'm really tired of it. And here's what we're going to do. I don't want these women of color in these positions. Guess who's the second largest? Latino women. Okay. So let's put this in bigger context, shall we? White women unemployment stayed flat at 3.3%. And Hispanic women's rate held steady at 4.6 last month. Too long. Yep. But the problem is when we talk about woke, really quick, let me address this again. Woke has been around in my community, in the Black community, since I can remember. That's not a new word. It's new to the rest of the world, but it's not a new phrase. And it's never meant what people think that it means. It just means that you're aware, that you know what's going on. I don't understand how in the world, but see, when they say woke, they want it to mean Black folks. That's it, hippy dippy. That's it. It just means I'm aware. Stay woke. You going out in these streets, stay woke out there. Keep your eyes open, keep your head peeled. Stay aware of your surroundings in your community. And it's about what's going on in our community. Yeah. So you see what I mean? And they took that entire word that has nothing at all to do with DEI, and they tried to, and it's worked. It's worked for people who were angry that diversity, equity, and inclusion, they thought was for Black folks only. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Matter of fact, everybody here should know these statistics. White women were the largest beneficiary. Say it. Meanwhile, Black women saw a 106,000 person increase in joblessness in just 1 month. And according to HBCU Money, employment for Black women is now at a 5-month low. I'm going to say it's longer than that because I've been actually off of my corporate job that I was at before I was laid off. I was the only Black person in my department, as a matter of fact. Had just gotten a new boss, and I knew it was coming. I could smell it a mile away. Well, anyway, that's been since November of 2022. That was right around the time that we started hearing all of this. No more woke, no more this, no more that. And this was during the Biden administration. No, numbers don't lie at all, Cheryl, at all. Hey, Sherry, how are you? So not just myself, but others, right, were impacted by this. Literally, the company that I was working for could not wait. They were trying to find a way, and I could absolutely see it. But here's the one thing that we don't want to talk about. And this is not whining. This is nothing. I literally, along with other friends that I have who happen to look just like me, have been on the job hunt, and I'm sitting at 413 resume submissions. And in 2.5 years, I've had 2 physical job interviews and 1 Zoom. You got to go. Be careful out there, Rebby. Get some good groceries. Come back and see us. Oh, they can't wait. They can't wait, Cruz. You glad you retired, Fleetwood? Oh, listen. And then and I thought, oh, okay, well, one of the things that's definitely going to be, a big boon for me is the fact that I'm certified in this, and I got this, and I got that, and I got college degrees and so forth and so on, and da 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 da. No, they don't even care. They are unbothered. But what's even worse is the fact that you don't even get a call back. The fact that you don't even get a thanks but no thanks. And then to find out that there is such a thing as ghost jobs. Have you all heard of this term? These corporations are literally creating fake job opportunities. Oh, baby. Let's go. Not even. Oh, y'all haven't heard of this term? Honey, it should be illegal. So basically what a ghost job is known as a fake or phantom job that is put up by the recruiting department of major corporations. These job listings appear to be legit. They really, really do. But they're not real positions. They're created for 2 reasons. And I know this because I have friends who literally have told me to my face, this is why you're probably not getting job opportunities, right? Companies post these fake jobs for a couple of different reasons. One, creating a false impression of growth for the numbers. Okay, that's first. The second thing is you might get a call from a homegirl or an email or whatever. Girl, your position is online. You go look and your job is right there. That's another reason why they may do it. And here's another reason why people do it as well. They're also looking to see what their competitors are doing. But here's the biggest one. It's for numbers. It's to pad your numbers to show that your department is literally out here actively recruiting. but you don't have any real jobs. Yeah, people are actually doing that. Major corporations are actually doing it. And there was a guy that discovered that it was happening, and he fired everybody that was doing it. Thank you, Lemon Seas. Isn't that crazy? Yep. So 9 times out of 10, out of those 413 resumes that I sent, how do I know that? Because when you go to LinkedIn and Indeed, you can literally run a report to see how many resumes or applications you have applied for. That's how I know. If anybody asks, how do you know you get 413? I added it up the other day. Yep. Here's something else that's happening too. AI. Exactly why. That's why, Cheryl. Is to keep them employed, number one. If it shows that they're literally out here actively recruiting, they're BS jobs. Yep. It's to meet their HR requirements to have so many jobs listed. Of course, Lady K, come and see us again. And when I discovered that, it made me more angry. Because see, now you playing in people's face. Major corporations, multi-billion-dollar corporations. Now you playing in people's face. Did you know that Facebook and Nvidia are already on this app? Yep. And it's wrong. It's wrong for people like myself and others who still, even though I stop looking every once in a while as a business owner, I say, I have lost my mind. Let me go and dust off my resume. And then the first thing that it says is Director of Operations of Brownstone Worldwide. What? Well, maybe I need to rethink that. Let me dust it off for just a little bit. So sometimes I will submit. Every once in a while, I'll submit. I don't count those. But I may submit, or I'll look and I'll say, nah, I can't even do it, because they'll find. And then to know that AI is looking at your resume and not a pair of human eyeballs boggles my mind. So qualified individuals are being overlooked. I'm gonna tell y'all something else. I'm about to spill some more tea, and then we're gonna fall back into the topics that I said we were gonna cover today. You ready? Sit down. Yep, I would absolutely sit down at this point. Welcome to those of you all on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. And on Meta, thank you for coming in. All right, so check this out. Y'all really gonna be mad at me, but you need to know. You need to know this. So AI is literally looking at your resume. It never makes it to a human being. But there's more. Because the people that are getting jobs, la. There are private groups. Should I tell it? I would tell it. There are private Facebook groups that I know of right now, because I'm in them, that teach you how to lie using AI so that it'll catch those keywords and phrases so you can get the job. There are people that are getting jobs, paying them up to 6 figures right now. I was reading in a thread yesterday. I got the job. I don't know how to do any of this. Can someone help me? Well, I'll say. So people are paying people to do it. Yeah, people are paying people to do it. They have like you got to know how to play the player. But in the end, you're playing yourself, because you got to get in there. You got to show and improve once you get in there. They're charging. I know of one person right now that is charging. I think it's $125 to doctor your resume. And then once you get the job, you coming back in the room and you're like, well, how do I? No, you said According to this resume, you said you could do the job. Go ahead. You got it. And their buzz is booming. Yep. Now they're even concerned, and then we're going to go back to the main topic at hand. Now they're even concerned that people are using, college students are using AI to literally learn everything. You paid $450 for someone to help my sister, and she didn't even use the woman's services. I was mad. Yeah. But these people know how to play the algorithm game, not the algorithm game, but the AI game. You started your business and need a quick regular job for the moment? Absolutely. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Do what you got to do. You tried to help? Of course you did. I paid for my resume to be redone. It did nothing for me. They said they were going to help me do all the things. I paid $125. Never forget it. It was when I first got laid off. And they were like, oh, this is going to help you get through the algorithms of whatever they're doing, those keywords, XYZ. I actually paid for 2 separate resumes. And I was like, oh, and it didn't work. It just absolutely didn't work. And then when I started really digging and learning that these people literally, it's just mind-boggling to me how much people are lying on their resumes and getting these jobs. And people like myself and others are literally being overlooked because these are ghost jobs anyway. They playing with people's emotions. These people got bills. They got mortgages. They got car notes. They got kids in school. They have to buy groceries, utilities, all of that. I have friends right now with full doctoral degrees that are driving for DoorDash and Uber. Taking calls at home because you literally can't get anything else. Of course they're laughing. They're absolutely laughing. And unfortunately, Black women are the hardest hit, according to the current statistics and the data that just came out. But it does not surprise me. Of course they got to be in on it. Cheryl, the company Indeed has to be caught in on this somehow. I'm sure they are. LinkedIn too, all of them. Because see, I think it's like a marketplace kind of sort of. And I don't know if maybe the corporation has to pay for those job leads to be on there. But Indeed is making money off of that. If nothing else, but through advertising, if nothing else. Got people desperate out here looking for jobs. So guess what people are doing, folks? People are literally, I'm talking about the sisters now, because I'm one of them. We have literally gone back to braiding hair. In our dining rooms and our kitchens, and making makeshift kitchens and having house parties, but renting out the club. People are doing whatever they have to do to continue to pay the bills. Taking calls at call centers, and you sitting up here with 2, 3, 4 college degrees. And again, remember, Black women are still the most educated group of people in the country. And the majority of women that I know right now are not, 1, working in their field, they're working, or 2, they've been recently laid off. And so they're doing whatever they have to do to make the ends meet, just like everybody else. Yeah. Childcare, healthcare. Yeah. Not surprising, Brother Mo, but it shouldn't happen. People go to college and see this goes back to that whole, student loan thing, right? We could definitely go down that rabbit hole. Folks sitting up in here with close to $100,000 in student loan debt. Having a military background helps. It should. I have a friend right now. He is an officer in the military, retired, 57 years old, college degree at Morehouse. Can't find a job. Guess what he does? He drives for Uber and Lyft. Yep. LinkedIn gets paid for posting those jobs. If you search for the hiring in your search bar to find jobs, yep, they get paid. Yep, absolutely. So I just kind of wanted to put that out there because it's an issue. Multiple degrees, Cruise B. Yeah. So we have to pay attention to some of these things. And you know what? That's why we always say things like, you always have to have something in your back pocket. You can't always just, and how do we remove ourselves off this grid? Well, I was just getting ready to slide into that. Then we're going to move on to the next topic. One of the things that I can definitely say for sure as a person with multiple skills is we always have to make sure that we have more than one thing that we're doing, multiple streams of income. And I'm going to go to something that my dad taught me years ago. He loves to read the Bible. Won't go to church, but he likes to read the Bible. I'm telling my daddy's business. And we were sitting down and we were reading the book of Ecclesiastes. And in Ecclesiastes, there's a segment in there about having more than one stream of income. And it says 1, no 7 or 8, because you never know which one will fall. And he looked directly at me with my naive young self at the time. And he was like, this is for you. Now, what you gonna do? How many different ways do you know how to make money? We need to go back to the things that worked for us back in the day. That doesn't mean that you still can't look for a job. But what that means is to recognize how many ways can you generate revenue that doesn't require you to clock in on somebody else's job that at any moment could make a decision on your entire household when they decide that they don't want you around anymore for whatever reason. Hey, Cutter. Cutter said, I'm on it because I need to so bad. Right. So there are multiple different ways. I ain't see myself going down this road, but I'm going. There are multiple different ways of generating revenue. Do you know how to do hair? Do you know how to can you babysit? People need daycare. Oh, they really gonna need it at the WOW, because didn't they just get rid of Head Start? You got childcare. You got all of these different things that you can do. Do you know how to fix on cars? I hate to call a shade tree mechanic, but sometimes people can't afford all of these things. And you might know how to work on something to help people keep their cars longer with all of this digital stuff that's going on. What kind of maintenance do you know how to do? Are you HVAC certified? Do you have things that you can use around your community that you can help other people with? There's a guy that stays about 5 houses down from me, and he started a pressure washing business. He just put his little signs all around. How about he'll be doing my deck? Because I'm not doing it, and I have a pressure washer. I'm not doing it. Right. So you're a virtual assistant. You'll be getting new clients soon. So there you go. You have administrative skills. You have corporate skills. And virtual assistants are not like they were back in the day when VAs were just getting started. VAs do everything. So they're not just relegated to just being your virtual secretary. Y'all do it all. I have a VA. And she only works like 20 hours a week. But a lot of the things that have to happen with the business, I cannot be at the helm every day. And she doesn't charge an arm and a leg. I know how much. And if I hit my hours, she lets me know. So what else can you do? That's number one. What can you cut loose in your household that you're not using? How many subscriptions do you have? Can you reduce some of that? Can you grow something in your backyard or in your garden to help you offset costs? Do you have to have the name brand everything? Some things are off limits now. Toilet tissue, we're not going to argue about. But, right, do you need Netflix? Do you need Prime? Do you need Hulu? Do you need all of the things when Roku got you hooked up? It's time for the hustle again. That's right. We have to create communities to do business with. Yes, that is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. We know how to do this. So many of us do know how to do this, but we have, ooh, I'm about to make some people mad. We have fallen by the wayside. Correct. Neighborhood community support. Welcome to the neighborhood. Yeah. I mean that when I say that too. So listen, so many of us have fallen by the wayside of believing that there is only one way of generating revenue. Go clock in and go get a job. Go clock in and go get a job. I'm safe as long. What if this company decides that they're going to remove everything? Then where are you? What else do you have? No, they're not handmade. They would rather hire, yes, limousines. If you have the skill set, put it out there. Cooperative economics, correct. You remember growing up hearing the Kwanzaa principles. It's important. We talk about that often here in the neighborhood in Brownstone because it's real stuff. We have to learn how to go back to the basics of the things that worked for our moms and our dads and so forth, right? And now I know why. I remember when I was a little girl, my dad went to work. He still, matter of fact, this joke still goes to work. First of all, let's talk about that. Why are you 74 and you still getting up going to work? He said, because I like it. Okay, daddy, go to work. But he still works on cars. He still builds things with his hands. And he's a musician. Plays the bass guitar, piano, and just the regular guitar. And back in the day, he used to get hired out all the time to perform. Yep, I have 15 jobs. You need your car fixed? My dad. Can he help you find one? Yep. Bird dog feed. My brother, he doesn't need the money, but he got a couple of side gigs. He has lawn equipment. What you think he doing on the weekends when he's not driving the truck? That's how come when people are telling me stuff like that's not happening at the port. My brothers, all three of them, drive trucks. I see it all the time. They're always talking about what is happening. You see what I mean? We only survive, no matter who you are, as a community. Period, point blank. It doesn't happen any other way. And here we are all again trying to, and I'm going to also put this out here too, because I am a content creator. Let's just keep this in perspective. Content creation does not pay my bills, y'all. Okay? I am working on my strategy. But if it pays for, Burger King or something like that, do not let these people, and I have to say this out here because I hear a lot of people say, oh, well, I just want to be a content creator. I'm going to go ahead and quit my job and so forth. Don't you quit your job. What do I always say? These are not your platforms. At any time, this could go away. Hello, ELOAA Ministries. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate your appearance in the neighborhood. Welcome, welcome. These are not your platforms. Where are you sending people? Where are you sending them? What do I always say? Welcome to the Brownstone. Welcome to the neighborhood. What's your brand look like? For most people here, I represent Brownstone worldwide, but there's a reason why. I'm not going to hide that either, right? I know that my budget does not afford me the opportunity to take thousands and thousands of millions of dollars to put into advertising. So what do I have to do? I have to show up every day. Because what am I trying to do? I want you to spend time with me at Brownstone Worldwide. That's it. Go ahead and register. Sign up for the magazine. Do you have your own email list? That's a whole different conversation for another day, right? You understand that, right? More like fan base. Shout out to Isaac Hayes Jr. But please understand, that's his platform. It ain't mine. But I know how to utilize it and remain consistent, coming here every day, going live, doing what I got to do, figuring it out, understanding what my numbers are providing to me to do more and be more better. So I can generate the revenue that I need in the form of, in my business, advertising, sponsorship, subscribers, those kinds of things. Because again, these are not your platforms. Don't you go out here and quit your job. Is it a nice little piece of change? Absolutely. But I'm going to give you an example why you should not in all of this. And we're talking about generating revenue and all of the things, right? One of the things that I would not do is lean on, Cutter said, I wasn't going to say that. I was going to show love and leave it alone. He played himself, didn't he? That's on him. Hopefully he'll be able to rise above that. But I saw all of it. I wasn't gonna say nothing, but you ma'am. So when we are talking about 106,000 women, we're also not just talking, there will be more. She said, I'm not gonna let anything pass. So remember this, y'all. When you are utilizing these platforms, use them and get up off of there. Use them and get up off of there. Period. Point blank. That's it. Set your goals, know what you're going to do, use it for what you need, and move on. I'm going to give you a reason why. So I am monetized on 3 of my pages on Facebook. Yesterday, Meta demonetized literally everybody at the same time. Now you banking on this money. Some people was crying about, I'm getting ready to lose $25,000. I'm getting ready to lose XYZ, so forth and so on, right? Literally. I'm so upset. And I just sat back. Number one, because I'm not banking on Meta to pay my bills. Because I know what it is. If it's extra, it's extra. That's why it's so important. If anybody is utilizing social media, it's only to drive them like the Pied Piper with those children. Yep, you didn't even notice it? Oh, it was all over Meta yesterday. People reaching out. I'm in several of those groups as well, right? And everybody's talking. Yep. Oh, I'm so upset. A couple of the big dogs, TC I Kill You was on there talking about it. Let's see, indescribable. So she was vapid with anger. And she showed her business thinking that it was personal towards her when it was a glitch. But if you are diversifying, listen up, folks. If you are diversifying where you are generating your revenue, hey, butterflies, how are you? You're monetized on too. So yeah, I'm gonna stay over there, and y'all I'm on there now, and you still gonna get the same news and information that you can use that you're getting over here on TikTok. Exactly, Cheryl. You say they're begging for money, acting like they broke, and charging for it. So they. Yeah, they're paying out. Did you get your... Now, I don't know about anybody else. I just got my invoice from Meta for my 3. I put it right up because somebody needs to be paid. Now, Meta does pay me more. I don't know now because now TikTok is paying. Yeah, so you gotta kind of balance where you want to go. But my point is ultimately, you have to figure out multiple streams of income, whether it be social media, whether it be through your own platform like Patreon, and Vimeo actually has a platform. Like if you have video content and stuff like that, YouTube is monetizing people. But the cool thing about Vimeo and like a Patreon and even a Substack, folks, listen up now. You can charge people for them accessing specific portions of your content. Oh yeah, TikTok absolutely pays more. Officially for me. Yep. I think I've been in the content creator program now for 3 months. And I've absolutely, month over month, it has literally quadrupled for me. Yeah. I think that's why a lot more people stay over here on TikTok as opposed to the other platforms. Yeah. And then not to mention TikTok Shop, which I don't even really promote a lot, but people purchase all the time. Which I dig. I absolutely dig that. Because at least it's a Starbucks drink at least once a week, right? Well, anyway, so yeah. Substack is doing really, really well for some people. I didn't even know when I started using it. I was like, oh, I like this. Oh, okay. I think I need to get serious over here. So yes, diversifying. Now I'm gonna tell you what you can't do. You can't do all the things. You cannot have fractured focus when you're trying to generate additional revenue for yourself. So find your lane and stick to that. Now, if you can do some things that are automated, wonderful. But if you can't, don't be out here trying to fry fish, chicken, sell plates, and braid hair. And it said, no, fracture focus. If you're not careful, shout out to Lamar Tyler for that phrase. I got that from him. I always like to show love where I can from Traffic Sales and Profit. This brother is amazing. You definitely need to check him out. But he talks about fractured focus, kind of like what's happening right now, because we're totally off topic. Because we were talking about the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics April jobs report shows Black women were and are currently the most unemployed group of people. Yep. Fractured focus. Stay here. Stay focused. Because you over here, like I said, you over here trying to fry fish, chicken, make macaroni and cheese, make, bake biscuits and all kinds of stuff, bake cakes and stuff and so forth, right? Because you saw so-and-so doing, and then you over here trying to braid hair and crochet and put people's perms in and so forth. And then you trying to change folks' babies' diapers. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. Find your lane and stay in there. I have found my lane. It is media. I literally officially have a schedule, and it feels really, really good to have a schedule, because I was all over the place when I was like, should I go live? How many times a day? Right. Yes. So you have to kind of figure out what you want to do, because when your focus is fractured, guess what happens? You're not building any long-term revenue. You might make $30 over here selling 1 or 2 plates. You might make $150 over here braiding somebody's hair. But what if you just took your time and focused on one thing long enough to see the result? That's where I'm at right now. Because what I've also learned as being one of the 106,000 that are not employed, right? What I've learned is I better get focused. Because 9 times out of 10 with these gray edges, ain't nobody gonna hire me. And I'm okay with that. Don't say that. Don't speak that into existence. It's not speaking it into existence. It's not. It's a fact. It's what's happening. And I have to roll with it. Okay? Girl, Cutter, you see it? Listen, people think that this is gray. This is gray, straight hair. Drives me nuts. You gray too? Listen, nobody told me that at a certain age stage in life, everything was gonna go gray. I'm gonna be quiet. All right. Okay. Let's talk about this Middle East trip. Straight as a bone, right? And then all of a sudden, I just gave up. It will probably be gray. I don't understand this new texture. But anyway, all right. So Middle East trip, business conflicts. Have y'all heard about this one? Ooh, child. What are these people doing? Let's talk about it. Hold on. Where's my I said I was going to be talking about this too. You be tripping at what? Who that old? Don't do that. Brother Mo. Listen. So Brother Mo said, for those of you all who can't see this on TikTok, he says, I be tripping every morning. Who that old dude in the mirror? When I get up in the morning, I have to hoist specific body parts to follow me to my early morning TT. Okay? Like literally have to go, all right. So it's just, you scared yourself once, Patty? Man, listen, like body parts are doing stuff, and I'm like, I've never been this big in my life. Like I've always been busty, but what happened? When did I get a big back? It's crazy out here. I'm trying to tell you. So listen, Do the 10 man, every one man hoist, Cutter. No, ma'am. And no, sir. You are not the only one. Listen, Cutter, let's keep it 100. If I am not careful, if I do not do my due diligence when I'm hoisting in the morning, I will walk out of my bedroom into my restroom area looking like Squidward. Oh, I can definitely see mine. Yes. Oh my God, today. You gotta roll them up sometimes, just I'm just keeping it real. You gotta keep it real. Like, where did it come from? Like, we gotta talk about this really quick before we go into Department of Defense and transgender folks. Listen, and don't get me wrong, it's a lot of people that wish that they were 6 feet above ground, right? They didn't make it. Like the song said, millions didn't make it, but I was one of those who did. I was one. So I will take the aches and I will do all the things and so forth. But listen, they didn't tell me that the suppleness that you had in your youth and the hair that you had and all of that. Yes, I'm grateful to be above ground and to have the wisdom that my children do not have. Now I understand what my mother was telling me. And she would shake her head and say, go on out there. You're going to find out for yourself. You're going to find out for yourself. And I did. Man, correct. Fleetwood said, y'all, it's better to be seen and not viewed. I love it. I haven't heard that in a very long time. Hey, Kayshawn, welcome. So yeah, let's talk really quick about what you might have missed yesterday. If you want to keep up with what's happening and try and pass this to child. Yes. Brother Mo said, you understand why they be humming? Ooh. Like in the movie Sinners. Listen, sometimes I just sit here and sometimes I walk through the house and I hear myself say, woo, child. And my homeboy that comes over sometimes to help edit, he laughs sometimes. I said, what are you laughing? He said, because you say it all the time. You don't even know you said it. Ooh, child. Just, because life. You think about something, you be like, ooh, child. Or. So when my daughter came home from college, y'all, she hadn't been home in a couple months. And my yard is full of flowers, like the front yard, and I have like the little stuff out and the hanging plants and so forth. And she said, it's official. You're a grandmother. Yes, I am a grandmother of 4. As a matter of fact, she says, this looks like an old woman's house now. I said, whatever do you mean? So she points at my ferns and she goes, Exhibit A. I thought, this is what happens when you accumulate things. You know what I mean? So anyway, all right. So Project 2025, let's go over to the tracker. Okay. Defense. Remember now, last week, Supreme Court of the United States, SCOTUS said, we're going to go ahead and let Donald Trump do what he wants to do with transgender in the military. And that was to expel transgender people who are currently serving in the military, right? Remember that? Well, guess what? That was a part of Project 2025. And that is currently available if you would like to read it on page 103 of the actual document. You want to hear it? Here it go. Hold on just a minute. I got it for you. I should have highlighted it. Now I got to look for it. Oh, that's the wrong page. Hold on. Why am I on page 73? 103. That's what I said. All right. So you do know that you can always go ahead and download Project 2025. For those of you all who were here the other day, you know that I read this. I'm rereading this again. So as I said, I would. Restore standards of lethality and excellence. This is on page 103 of the 2025 Presidential Transition Project, which is a part of Project 2025. Entrance criteria for military service and specific occupational career fields should be based on the needs of those positions, except for individuals. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate that. Who are already predisposed to require medical treatment. In parentheses, it states, for example, HIV positive or suffering from gender dysphoria should be removed. Where my coffee at, Lord? And those with gender dysphoria should be expelled from military service. Did y'all catch that? Project 2025, which they said didn't exist, this was completed on May 8th, last week. Once again, go to project2025.observer and you'll see exactly what I'm looking at. And whenever you look at it, it will literally tell you your sources. So you can go read it for yourself. I'm not making this up. It's on you. But the information that we are providing is readily available to anyone. It is their playbook, Hippy Dippy. God, I love that name. It is absolutely their playbook. I need another sip. Let me read that again, because I don't think people believe that fat meat is greasy. Restore standards of lethality and excellence. Entrance criteria for military service. Who is sending me text messages at this time of the day? Okay. And specific occupational career fields should be based on the needs of those positions. Exceptions for individuals who are already predisposed to require medical treatment, for example, HIV positive or suffering from gender dysphoria, should be removed. And those with gender dysphoria should be expelled from military service. Physical fitness requirements should be based on the occupational field without consideration of gender, race, ethnicity, or orientation, unless, of course, they have what they deem as gender dysphoria. Oh, it absolutely is Ponchos for forever. Absolutely. So I just thought that I would kind of put that out there for you guys, for those of you all who want to keep up with what's happening. As Cheryl posted in the chat on TikTok, it is project2025.observer. They can't get young for No, absolutely not. My son told me that they've been to his school 4 times this semester trying to get kids to recruit. He says like a couple of his homeboys have done it. He was like, I'm not doing that. That's partially my fault. But yeah, they see what's going on. Accept the equity, diversity of our military or get out. They will be rounding us up after the Latinos. It wouldn't surprise me at all. At all. Okay. All right. Moving on. Let's talk about this Middle East trip. I said I was going to definitely talk about it because it was on my Substack today. So I'm just going to go ahead and look at this Substack piece I did. I'm always doing something, y'all. So I did talk about it on my Substack today. If you want to follow me over on my Substack, please do so, because on there, it's called the Brownstone Brief. That's the name of the topic of it, but you can follow me at Paulette on the Mic on Substack. The Brownstone Brief today was the power lunch you weren't invited to. My son either. He was like, mother, I'm going to school. He's already got accepted. He's already got his class schedule and everything. Yeah. Silicon, Saudi money, and the price of progress. While most of us were focused on rising food costs, stagnant wages, and AI headlines, we barely understand anymore. A different kind of conversation was unfolding halfway across the globe, one that may shape the future for all of us. You ready? Yesterday, which is their yesterday, because you know they're already ahead, former President Donald Trump gathered with top U.S. and Saudi officials in Riyadh. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Alongside them, Elon Musk, Sam Altman, Ginseng Wang, Ruth Porat and Andy Jassy. Those are just to name a few. Now, they were there officially for diplomacy, but behind the cameras and photo ops, the real conversation centered on artificial intelligence, infrastructure, and access to one of the deepest investment pools in the world, Saudi Arabia's Vision Fund 2030. Did y'all know that? Elon Musk is currently looking for $120 billion evaluation or valuation. And that's one of the things that he's looking for is funding for that. What venture is that? XAI. So it wasn't just about business. They are making policies, economic engineering, power consolidation, and other ways to retain and gain power. I kind of posted in here, what's missing in this picture? You, me, the people that are literally going to be impacted by what they're talking about with this 2030 fund. How does that look for the rest of us? And why is this so important? Because we're not at the table helping to make these decisions. That's why. That's why it's so important for us not to just be looking at, because see, here's where I have my concern. My concern is we're so busy raging against the machine that we're literally not preparing for what they are already setting up. Where we at? What are we doing? Absolutely, Cruz B. Of course. Why are we not paying attention to what's happening? Because see, again, I said it yesterday. What do they have us doing? They have us infighting against each other, arguing over things that really don't matter while they're stripping away Medicaid. To the tune of $880 billion, y'all. Your GOP, your Republican Congress and Senate have said, we still gonna cut it. So major corporations don't have to pay taxes. We're gonna go ahead and gut that. Absolutely. According to Project 2025, Patty says they've been working on this for 30, 40 years. If you read the preface or the preface of Project 2025, they tell you they've been working on it since the Reagan administration. They don't care that you know it. If they cared, they would have kept the document from the public. They care not about it. Because guess what? Can I make that face? What you gonna do? You ain't gonna do nothing. Just me making that face like I'm a bully in the streets ought to tick you off enough for you to say, all right now. Right, they never did pay it back. They never paid back Social Security when they borrowed it. Which is mind-boggling to me why you would want to remove people from this country who were undocumented, who were paying into the Social Security Administration system, because that was helping to keep it afloat. Not once, but twice. Thank you, Patty P, for that reminder. Did y'all catch that? Cutter. They did. They imported some new folks to the country and they fast tracked them, didn't they? Yep. But how can it be entitlements? I just got to put this out here, Super Dave. Thank you for that. How can it be entitlements when I've been paying on it since I was 15 years old? I have been working, clocking into somebody's job or getting a salary since I was 15. I'm 54. How is that an entitlement when you took it out of my paycheck any damn way? You took it out of my check anyway. FICA, I'll never forget the first time I got my paycheck. I was 15. I was working for the Milwaukee Safety Commission. Never forget it. And I thought my check was going to be like $190. Child, when they got through with me, I think I walked home with $81, and I was looking at my check and I was shaking. And I went home to my foster mother and I was like, what happened to my check? I don't know how come FICA, what is this? And I didn't know what FICA was. I didn't know what Social Security at the time. I didn't know any of that. And she looked at me and she said, oh, honey, they're going to get yours they're going to get your money before you get it. Be prepared to always live on less. And so she taught me how to, I think at the time I might have been making $4.25 an hour. I don't know, but I know I said it because I was like, who is FICA? Who are all these people? What's happening? Well, I literally, to this day, live by what my foster mother said. She said, take how much you make in an hour and divide that by 20%. And that's what you should always plan to live on. And I've done that ever since. It absolutely is. School is for a world of workers. But now let's be clear on a couple things. Something that I was looking at this morning. And that was, we got to be careful in this creator economy. School was built by the Rockefellers, who had this set up where he just wanted a nation of workers and not a nation of thinkers. And then Ronald Reagan came behind and said, oh, y'all, this free education, we're going to stop this. So here we are. Your Nana did you the same way. So now here we are, and we're thinking in our heads that we ultimately are supposed to go and clock in. Let's be clear, folks. There's nothing wrong with clocking in on somebody's job. It's not. Don't get me wrong. Because I'm lying through my teeth, but if I was who I was maybe a year and a half ago, and somebody came to me and said, hey, we're going to pay you what you're really worth, X, Y, Z, whatever, I would probably have jumped at it. Yep. Till they created trickle-down economics. Yep. Now here we are. And you often wonder, like, even with this whole thing with Donald Trump saying, we're going to bring all of this work back to America. We're going to create these tariffs so that it'll force companies to come back to, first of all, I said before, I said it again, they ain't coming back. They got a taste of what it's like to pay for cheap labor, for cheap products. They're not coming back here. They're not doing it. And for those that do, it's going to take too long. And some of us may not even have eyes to see when it does occur. There's a right and a wrong way to do everything. Like Keith Sweat said. Was he the one that said that there's a right and a wrong way to love somebody? Right. Period, Brother Mo. They're not coming back. They ain't coming back. Like I said, they got a taste of almost free labor. And they said, nope. We're not going back. We're not going back. I sound like Kamala Harris's campaign, don't I? Exactly. The oligarchs want all the money. And so here we are. We're not going back. Things are never going to go back to the way that they were. So while they're doing all of these things with tariffs and the other side of this coin that we're all fighting on, which is ridiculous to me because nobody won. So we all on the same coin. We over here hitting each other upside the head on a quarter. What do we look like? We on the same quarter. Of course, Patty. Big shout out to Kamala. Yes. But here's the thing. If we're on the same quarter and we're over here fighting each other on the same quarter, we all look like idiots. So no one won. And here we are. We're sitting here and we're trying to figure out how these companies are going to come back to the US of A. When people were fighting for that trade agreement to not go through, they should have listened in. Now we have all of these befuddlements and these things that are happening. And it's like, wait a minute, what in the hell is going on? What's happening? Yes, they are, Debbie. Yeah, Brother Mo, they are. So let's talk about that, and then let's talk about the next topic on the table, which is the white South Africans. Those countries took that money that we sent over there from those people that greased those Republicans and those Democrats' hands, and they signed that deal, sent all of that work in those industries and those countries, companies overseas, while these buildings, even where I live today, these mills and these corporations and everything, dilapidated, broke down buildings now. Most will never see any kind of rehabilitation, any kind of rebuild or anything. They're just going to stand there in communities that were lost, where people lost their homes and their cars, and their families were broken up because people had to go where the money was instead of in their local communities. And then the mom and pop stores went away because big box retailers like Walmart said, no, you can come over here and you can get all of your products and services over here under one roof. And then the hat shop closed, and then the shoe store closed, and then Sears closed, and then J.C. Penney said, let's file bankruptcy. And then Kohl's said, no, we can't hang anymore. And then the lingerie shop that used to have the man that would measure the women so that their clothing would fit them properly closed down, because now you can go and you can get the off the rack stuff that don't fit anybody, right? Do you see that? Kmart, Spartan, Zare, y'all remember these? It's failing. It's failing. You know why? Because we the people. Exactly, Super Dave. Correct. See, that's something else too. So these big box retailers and all of these major corporations, Woolworths is another one. When they come into your community, what do? They demand what they want, or we're not bringing it. This is what we want from you. We want this. We want free this and XYZ. And yeah, we'll go with the federal requirement for how much we should be paid the people in your area, but we'll never give them full-time hours because we're not giving them what? Benefits. Tell them to go get some food stamps. Tell them to go get on Section 8. And then guess what's going to happen? Then we blame them for being on food stamps and on Section 8. Does that make sense? Hold up. Wait. You want me to clock in, go to work, you can't get 40 hours for your benefits. McDonald's, this is a true story, back in the day actually had a video that taught you how to live off of less and how to apply for food stamps, Medicaid, and housing in your. If it's a lie, I'm blind because I saw it. If I'm not mistaken, it's still up on YouTube. Yes, Super Dave, a video made by millionaires. This is why I keep telling us we didn't win nothing. Who won? The super rich? DJT and his sons overseas building multi-billion-dollar hotels and golf courses and charging people $500,000 to be a part of a membership called the executive branch? Correct. It's a club that we, I feel like Chris Brown at this very moment. How you mad at me? How you mad at me and you outside of the club? You can't even get in. Eat the rich. Those are the things we should be talking about. We should be holding these multi-billion-dollar corporations accountable. But then we should also be sure that we are holding those people that we voted in that work for the people accountable. So they built this system, and now they have us. There was a troll in here earlier. I don't know if they even here anymore. I don't even care. That said about Black women That's why y'all got multiple kids and you own welfare and XYZ. The poorest states who receive the most aid are red states that are predominantly white in certain areas, counties, townships. And what I've noticed is a couple of people have literally said recently, the only way that we can win this fight is to stop spending our money. Excuse me. Some of us don't know how to do that. The pitchforks are coming. Eat the rich. We have to stop spending our money because they've already told us what. So I'm going to give you my money and you still going to pee on me and tell me it's rain and that it's lemonade after it hits me, right? Is that what you're doing? Because that's what you're doing. Yep. More companies use welfare. They call them subsidies. Ooh, child, y'all missed that one when we talked about the farmer subsidies and why WIC was actually created and what food stamps are really for. But they got us fighting against each other, even though it was built for the farmers to keep them afloat. Y'all better sip this tea and this coffee, honey. It's hot in here. Absolutely, Sherry. He takes it and smiles. His subsidy doesn't look like an EBT card, though. It's probably a direct deposit into the bank account of the company. And he disperses it as he sees fit or as his accounting team sees fit. Yeah, and they got us over here feeling bad because we're getting food stamps or we're on Section 8, which, yes, $8 million a day. Hey, Sierra, how are you? Good to see you today. You know what I mean? So when we're looking at all of this, you have to truly understand that these folks literally have us fighting against each other. And they somewhere tickled in the background going, they think this is about race. Yeah. Just messy. We were just talking about that. I hadn't even gotten that far yet. I went down this rabbit hole. Yes, $142 billion arms deal to Saudi Arabia. Investing in big U.S. weapons, AI, as Trump basks in the welcome. I did a Substack piece on it. I was trying to be nice. I'm not going to be nice anymore. I thought I was being nice. That part. Yes, Super Dave. Those are the ones that they said attacked her. My brother was there in the building. I don't know. He said, I don't know now. Thank God he made it out alive. The very people that they say attacked us on 9/11. You get ready to do an arms deal. And Dubai. Let's talk about that. It is absolutely a tool of classism. You said it. Used by the rich because they made money from slavery. It is a big I, little U. Yeah. $1 trillion in deals, folks. That's what he's looking for. I don't know if y'all know that. You do now. You shouldn't be mad. You shouldn't be mad. Because he already said it was rigged. Correct. And black farmers still can't take out any loans. Here's what you need to know. He said he's open to a deal, but insisted Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. He gets to say that? Okay. And you know what they're saying? Yes, of course. Whatever you say. And they're picking up phones talking about, you heard what he said? Go ahead, finish it up. He emphasized that he doesn't believe in permanent enemies. Oh my God, today. But would impose maximum pressure if Iran continues hostile actions. 4 rounds of negotiations between U.S. and Iranian officials have taken place, mediated by Oman. Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, is leading the discussions. DJT has warned that his offer won't remain on the table forever and called for Iran to act now. Here's what he's getting ready to do. This just dropped, y'all. This was not in my Substack piece. He said today the United States will lift sanctions on Syria, making a significant reversal of long-standing policy during the country's years-long civil war under former leader Bashar al-Assad. He said, I will be ordering the cessation of sanctions against Syria in order to give them a chance at greatness, he said, at a business forum, receiving applause from the audience. He added that the move followed discussions with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The president acknowledged that the sanctions were brutal and crippling, but said they had fulfilled their purpose. Now is Syria's time to shine. Sierra, I'm going to sip my coffee. Yeah, that part. Assad fled the country in December. Syria's interim leader, Ahmad al-Shahara, previously headed the Islamic group Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, which remains designated, sit down, a terrorist group organization by the U.S. Now, DJT had hinted at lifting the sanctions earlier this week, but made it official during today's remarks. How y'all feel about that? Correct. We just talked about that. But he can't really give it, so he's giving it to his sons, Sierra. Right. Y'all better grab this coffee and this tea. Come sit at this table. Get some of this. I had to lay down in the floor. Exactly, Suma. He is lining them up. See, here's the one thing that my mother used to say this, and I'm sure you all have heard this before. First of all, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. That's exactly what's happening, because y'all know they're selling off public parks, lands that should never be touched for cheaper than what they're worth. And they've already got buyers. Y'all better pay attention. That's why I keep saying the things that I do. They're literally turning the United States of America, too late, because we're already in an authoritarian regime. It's over with. It was over with about 60 days back. Okay? It's been done. So now you're getting ready to sell the U.S. for parts. And not only are you selling the U.S. for parts, and you're gonna give us a little bit, right? You're gonna give us just a tiny little bit every once in a while. You're gonna say, oh, well, let's reduce the tariffs. We're gonna give 10% to the U.S. and we're gonna give 30% to China. And China is still going, hold my beer. We can circumvent the Panama Canal. And so they did. They're going to be doing business with Mexico. And guess what? They're already transporting. That's exactly what's happening. He knew that this deal was going to go down because he talked about making sure you were ready to buy. That's exactly what is happening, Brother Mo. Selling off everything in our face. Cheers and labor. And they did it in record time, Super Dave, right? Largest railway in Mexico and a new canal. They wasted no freaking time at all. They did it and it was over with and it was done. Exactly. Brother Mo, we talked about that yesterday. So Brother Mo says labor will be the prisoners. Who are the current prisoners? Let's just keep it 100. Let's keep it. What does my son say? Let's keep it a buck. I hope I said that right. Oh my God. Just tearing up stuff. So if you lock these folks up with no due process, where they going? You know why I got quiet? Think about that. I said it right, Carla. They have. And I'm fully aware of several companies that I used to work for and contract for that literally got rid of the corporations here for a couple of reasons. You ready? Because paying employees a livable wage in manufacturing, which is normally about $17, $18 an hour, plus benefits, plus OSHA, plus all the things you have to pay for it, they didn't want to do it. And be threatened with possibility of organizing or unionization. They would wrap up, be like, oh, we just gonna shut it down. That's what y'all finna do? This is what you, oh, okay, go. We finna go to Mexico because we've been building on that for 3 years anyway. We almost done. Going ahead and wrap this up and we're gonna start sending those orders over there. I witnessed it in real time. That's why I know these companies not coming back. I witnessed it. And the sad part was I was sworn not to say anything. I was sworn to secrecy and it drove me insane. So I had to get real slick and start letting people know, it might be time for you to go on ahead and find you something. Oh, because listen, why not? They've been planning for this for years. Absolutely. Yep. So there's that. But see, they're so ahead. That's why they're so ahead. That's what Chris B just said, y'all. They're so ahead because number one, they literally had the option with the money that was coming in. They took that money and said, let's do something with it now. Now they in Africa. Now they over here buying stuff. Now, I will say this though, the governor of Texas said, well, if you're from China, if you're from other countries, I forgot what they were, you cannot buy land here. You have to be from the States. Right? What'd you say, Brother Mo? Black folk? Now you know. They are the new economic power, and they know it too. Remember what he said. The U.S. is in its Enron stage. Ouch. Ooh. Painful, painful, painful. Painful. You said it. Y'all remember when Enron fell? Lord have mercy. Let's talk about June 14th before I wrap it up, y'all. So we do know that the current president wants a parade, correct? It just boggles my mind that we have the dumbest president. It don't boggle my mind. It don't bother me. You see, I'm tickled. And we have to stop saying this. I voted, I'm part of the 92%, but you still are feeling the effects. Let me tell y'all, I went to the grocery store to buy some fruit yesterday. I think I bought a package of grapes about the size of this mouse cover, right? So this mouse cover right here. It might have been a clutch. Guess how much those doggone grapes were? $4.51. I put that back so quick. I just wanted a cluster of grapes. It's usually like $1 and some change, right? Oh no, y'all keep the grapes. Go ahead. Yeah, they got rid of DEI. But you know what the funny thing is people that are DEI didn't know that they were DEI. They thought it was black folks. Yes, I did, Sierra. You called it president. Well, I mean, that's what it is. It's okay to call it what it is. Let's look at this. U.S. Army is planning a pricey parade for its 250th anniversary and Trump's birthday. Here's what could be on display. The U.S. Army is planning a major parade on Flag Day, which happens to be Trump's 79th birthday. I don't even want to read this. Nearly 7,000 troops will march in this parade and will feature about 150 vehicles and 50 aircraft. Do you all need me to read that again? How y'all feel about that? You went to the store, the most expensive eggs is now the cheap ones, and the cheap ones are crazy high, right? You won't watch. Hold up. Oh my God, today. Let me read that again. You need a hero? 7,000 troops will march in the parade. Who are these 7,000 people that's planning on being a part of this ridiculousness? Say their names. I'm so serious. Say their names. 7,000? It will feature 150 vehicles and 50 aircraft. They should have a choice. But good question, Super Dave. While plans are still evolving, a draft dodger is having a military parade. Yes, honey, because you know those shin splints, you know. While plans are still evolving, defense officials say the parade could cost as much as $45 million. Oh, this coffee sure is good and lukewarm. U.S. Army is planning a military parade with infantry fighting vehicles and thousands of soldiers to celebrate its 250th anniversary on Flag Day on June 14th because it's also Donald Trump's birthday. It's supposed to last 4 hours, and the procession is planned to stretch from Arlington, Virginia, across the Potomac, and into Washington, D.C. It is supposed to exhibit the Army's history through historical aircraft and vehicles and soldiers marching in period uniforms. That's how it feels, doesn't it, Super Dave? Money for military parade for him. No money for cancer research. Make that make sense. Thank you, Sierra. At least 11 Army Corps and divisions nationwide are planned to be involved in the showcase, bringing in thousands of troops, heavy vehicles, and possibly tanks. $45 million, y'all. In a May 4th interview with NBC News, Meet the Press, Trump said the high cost of the U.S. military parade is peanuts compared to the value of doing it. Compared to the value of doing it. Whew. I'm trying to find the words and I don't have them. But there's more. There are protests that are scheduled for the same day. Everyone, turn with me on your internet pages to nokings.org. Let me repeat that again. nokings.org. On June 14th, Flag Day, Donald Trump wants tanks in the streets and a made-for-TV display of dominance for his birthday. A spectacle meant to look like strength, but real power isn't staged in Washington. It rises up everywhere else. If you go to the page, you will see all the blue dots that indicate exactly where there will be protests and resistance marches all throughout the country. You're done? I hate to keep laughing because the No King's Pledge says, you could take a pledge, this country doesn't belong to a king. And we're not letting him throw himself a taxpayer-funded parade while slashing our rights and programs our families depend on. So you can sign up at nokings.org to take a pledge to show up on June 14th and be the first to get updates, tools, and ways to take action. Now, for those of us who will not be physically in attendance, what do you need to do? Do your due diligence and remain steadfast on your monetary protesting and resistance. Shop local. Give those mom and pop stores your money. They need you to stay open and alive. Rocking and a rolling, splishing and a splashing. You remember that song? No More Kings? Yeah. Because remember, they wanted to put, what was it, tariffs on tea? We mean that. No more kings. In America, we don't do kings. It is a nationwide day of defiance, from city blocks to small towns, from courthouse steps to community parks. We're taking action to reject authoritarianism and show the world that what democracy really looks like. We're not gathering to feed his ego. We're building a movement that leaves him behind. The flag doesn't belong to Donald Trump. It belongs to us. We're not watching history happen. We're making it. On June 14th, we're showing up everywhere he isn't to say no thrones, no crowns, no kings. That's it. NoKings.org. Head over there if you want more information about that. And for those of us like myself and other Black and brown bodies who are making a decision to stay out of these streets, because you know what they're going to do if that happens, we are going to make sure that we are resisting in other ways. How do we do that? Keeping our money in our pocket. Is some things you don't need. If you need toilet tissue, there are people that have them. Flea markets, go there. There are people that are looking for you to come and spend your money with them. He's absolutely dangerous, Brother Mo. Building a movement that leaves him behind. Absolutely. This. Correct. This is dangerous. All of this is dangerous. Yep. We sure don't. You better tell him, Carla. The block is hot over here, honey. Trust. I wanted to make sure that I ended with that because we need to be aware of all the things that are currently happening. And I'm proud of myself because I went down my list. We're a little over. We're over by about 20 minutes, but I think we did good today, right? I think it's important for us to continue to remain diligent. And I need us all to continue to pay attention to what's happening out there. And I'm going to say this as I'm hearing all of these other independent news outlets and stuff like that say, if you cannot find what you are looking for with regular news, you all already know what to do. Come back here, talk to each other, find out what's going on. If you can't get it on Meta, go to brownstoneworldwide.com. If you can't get it over here, check out Aaron Partners, check out Don Lemon, check out Joy Reid, check out Paulette on the mic. Go over to Substack and get that rich content that is out there, because we are literally doing the research from the time we get up in the morning to the time we go to bed at night, unless it was last night. I just couldn't do it. Okay? That's okay. That's okay. We're going to be okay. We just have to learn how to stick together and understand that we are the people. And as I'll say it again, I'm going to continue to keep saying it. We are the hope. We are the hope. We have to make a decision as a people that we will control this narrative where everybody wins. I don't care what you believe. I don't care who you are. It does not matter if you like me or not. This is about your freedom. This is about your right to have the life that you were told that you could have being an American citizen. It is about holding the Constitution to what it should be held to, and that's the standard that it stands on. It's really up to us. My job and my responsibility during this time is to provide you with the news and information that you need so you can make better decisions. Like Brother Mo just said, if we build coalitions in our groups and come together, we all win. And it's happening. Grassroots, it's happening. But y'all, don't be out here being upset because it's not a bouncy house in position for you when you're out there protesting. What's the strategy? Is there a strategy? Fleetwood said, I believe in protesting, being in a few of them myself. Yes, we have to have a strategy. What is the strategy? Pastor Jamal Bryan has a beautiful one against Target. It's working, isn't it? Their CEO just lost some of his bonus. They cut his pay. You're welcome, Blinky. Are you seeing what I'm saying? I'm going to end with this, and then we're going to do our 3 things. The power of collective consciousness can never be denied. Start saying that. And please understand that it does not matter what race you are. Right's right, and it don't wrong nobody. Do right because it is right. Period. If we want this country to be what we want it to be, we have to be sure that we are standing for right for every human being that is in this country. And follow what that Constitution says, because it ain't happening. And everybody that is allowing this to occur, that are in positions that they got voted in, or they were sworn in, you're going to have to pay the piper. Don't ever think that you don't ever have to reap what you sow. 3 things that I always like to tell everybody before we end every single program. 1, thank you so much for joining us here at Brownstone Worldwide. You can go ahead and follow us and subscribe on YouTube. Secondly, you can go ahead and check us out at brownstoneworldwide.com for news and information that you can use, as well as Substack for me, Paulette on the mic. You can go ahead and get your free digital copy of the May issue of Brownstone Living Magazine and listen in throughout your day to sounds you remember at cityscaperadio.com. Also, don't forget, I'll be back tomorrow to talk some more noise, talk some more stuff, and follow me all over the place. I'm just getting started, y'all. What y'all cooking today? 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, live your life to the fullest and embrace everything that is your life. You only get one you might as well enjoy it. And lastly, breathe through every single moment. I will see you all tomorrow for another edition of, you guessed it, The Day Shift. To all of my neighbors that came out to hang out with me on all of the platforms, I see you. I see you over here too. And thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see you around. Have a good one, y'all.
Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Vernell. Here to entertain, and we will help you live well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you are welcome in the essence. This broadcast brownstone, the light is contagious. But you need go on and receive it for yourself. Just open it, exuberant, evolution excited. We standing on the foundation of expression. You might have seen, you might have been, or you could have gravitated. Our foundation, we want to create a space for all to collaborate and be liberated from eventually all over the globe. And we are extending a hand to those who are an extension from maybe platforms, dig into another stratosphere. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Welcome to Brownstone Worldwide. Tips, topics, and talk, we got it all. Brownstone Boozy and Breakfast with Bernard, here to entertain, and we will help you live well. And that is MSG, the message in the message. I can OD on my execution of excellency. And this as a man right now, and things aren't created, but see true.